heavy flooding quickest since I first started doing this channel in 2021. We'll kind of walk.
San Diego started the new year underwater. Heavy rain soaked the city on New Year's Day, causing widespread flooding and forcing emergency crews to make multiple water rescues across the county. The storm runoff was just too much for the roads and drainage systems to handle, leaving drivers and pedestrians stranded in fast-moving water. And honestly, you hear about the city planning to fix the drainage situation there, but looking at this, it clearly hasn't happened yet. Some of the most severe flooding hit Mission Valley. It's a low-lying area that's notorious for flooding whenever there is sustained rain. But this was different. Water stayed pooled in parts of the neighborhood for hours after the heaviest rain stopped, which just highlights how quickly conditions fell apart. Emergency crews were scrambling to answer rescue calls all day, especially along Fashion Valley Road where rising floodwaters trapped motorists. In one scary incident, firefighters had to rescue an adult and a child from a Jeep that was getting partially submerged as the water levels shot up. San Diego fire rescue officials reported another intense rescue nearby at Camino de la Reina and Avenida del Rio. A man actually got trapped underneath a bridge as the floodwaters surged around him. Search and rescue teams had to deploy a raft just to reach him. They managed to pull him out safely and rushed him to a hospital for a medical evaluation. One Mission Valley resident, Stephen Shatbor, summed it up pretty well. "Holy crap, this is about as bad as I've seen it." He noted that flooding is just a recurring headache in that area. He said when he bought his place, they told him point blank that Mission Valley is at a lower elevation, so whenever it rains, it's going to flood down there. Fire officials emphasized that a lot of these rescues didn't have to happen. They are urging the public, when you see flooded roads, just stay away. Crews were handling emergencies all over the county. There was a dramatic scene over at Lake Hodges where a woman was actually swept away by floodwaters. It was serious enough that they had to bring in a helicopter to hoist her to safety. San Diego fire rescue crews also had to launch a swift water rescue operation on Thursday morning after an adult and a child got trapped inside their vehicle in Mission Valley. This went down near Fashion Valley Road and Riverwalk Drive, where the water was rising so fast the roads became completely impassable. Officials said by the time help arrived, the car was already halfway underwater. Fire officials are practically begging the public to stay clear of these areas and to actually take the flooding seriously. The department put out a blunt reminder on social media: never try to walk or drive through floodwaters. It might not look deep, but just 12 inches of fast-moving water is enough to lift a vehicle and carry it away. These rescues are happening while heavy rain is still pounding parts of San Diego County, creating dangerous driving conditions everywhere. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning early Thursday morning. That has since been downgraded to a flood advisory, but the danger isn't over. Drivers are being strongly encouraged to avoid Mission Valley entirely, find alternate routes and keep their heads up as these storms move through the region. All that rain caused the San Diego River to overflow its banks on Thursday. Streets in Mission Valley were drenched, and the parking garage at the Fashion Valley Mall looked more like a swimming pool than a place to park cars. According to the National Water Prediction Service, water levels near Fashion Valley spiked hard between 5 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. on Thursday. It reached a peak of over 9 feet. To give you some context, the official threshold for major flooding is 10 feet, so it was dangerously close. Even without hitting that number, several roads and structures flooded from the mix of rain and river overflow. Avenida del Rio, specifically the stretch between Camino de la Reina and Riverwalk Drive, had to be completely closed off because deep water was covering every single lane of the street. The bottom level of the parking garage at the Fashion Valley Mall was also completely flooded. This isn't exactly a surprise to locals. That area has a reputation for going underwater. We saw river crossings in Mission Valley get shut down back during the storms in January of 2024, and it's happening again. Mission Valley is easily one of the most flood-prone spots in the entire county, ranking right up there with neighborhoods near Chalice Creek, Sorrento Valley, and the Tijuana River Valley. Looking at the forecast for the rest of the week, we should see things clear up a bit by Thursday evening. But don't get too comfortable. The rain is set to return on Friday, with lighter showers tapering off into the start of next week. As I mentioned, some of the worst flooding we saw was in Mission Valley. It's a low-lying area, so it basically acts like a bowl during sustained rain. The water was still pooling deep in the streets hours after the heaviest rain had stopped, which just underscores how fast conditions deteriorated out there. Emergency crews were responding to rescue calls all day long, especially along Fashion Valley Road where the rising water left motorists stranded. In one case, firefighters had to rescue an adult and a child from a Jeep that was getting partially submerged as the water rose around them. Honestly, this is the quickest I've seen it flood since I started doing this channel back in 2021. Let's take a walk through it so you can see what I mean. San Diego fire rescue officials said another intense rescue happened nearby at Camino de la Reina and Avenida del Rio. A man actually became trapped underneath a bridge as the floodwaters surged. Search and rescue teams had to deploy a raft just to reach him. They managed to pull him out safely and immediately transported him to a hospital for a medical evaluation. If you liked the analysis in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please share this video with your friends, family members, and relatives. And finally, if you found this report helpful, please hit the like button. This helps us beat the algorithm and ensures this truth reaches more people who need to hear it. Thank you for watching.